And how tall are you?
I am 5'5".
Dress size?
You say again?
Dress size?
Oh, dress size. I don't know, like 12. I don't know.
12? How much did you weigh the last time you weighed yourself?
Like 190.
Hello, how are you? So, TOMO?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Good. So, what are we talking about? Talking about tired of being alone? Or are we talking about modern mercenaries?
Actually, so there was a lady who joined the call earlier today, and I kind of agree with her as far as what y'all's conversation, and how y'all were speaking about the older generation kind of failed us as far as like teaching us how to, properly prepare for marriage. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of here to like say like, I'm learning as well and kind of trying to navigate as well.
Well, I don't think she really agreed much with me. I said that. Mm-hmm. I mean, she came in saying, well, younger women need to be married. And I was like, well, okay, cool, I hear you. But then then I asked her about having any daughters. She said she had 4 stepdaughters. I'm like, well, all right. So, what do you want to be married one day?
Absolutely. So definitely, for sure. One day.
Was your mother married?
My mother was married. Okay. She's divorced now.
Was she married to your father?
Yes, she was.
How long were they married?
For about 10 years or so. Mm-hmm. About 10 years.
So when you speak to your mother about dating, relationships, and men, is she happy, upbeat, optimistic, and joyful?
Yes, but I also do come from a very strict traditional background. So earlier you were talking about how women don't really have to prepare for marriage. They're kind of just already ready. I completely agree with that. When I was growing up, I always knew that, I kind of knew that my parents would like find someone for me. Mm-hmm. However, since like living in America and everything like that, they're kind of letting me like, look for love. And yeah.
Okay, so is your mother, she's been divorced?
And sometimes that looking for love can kind of hurt you in the end as opposed to those traditional marriages. I know a lot of you guys don't, believe in those arranged or traditional marriages, but the fact that the father's no longer in the picture and the mother's not really giving her too much guidance, I'm assuming whatever background, if it's that strict, the father would be vetting the guys for her in terms of this. But now that they're in America, we're so liberal when it comes to things, and they're letting her choose, and here's where we are at right now. So, very interesting.
Your father for how long?
Oh, it's been about, like 20 something years now.
Has she had a boyfriend or a significant relationship since?
Yes, however, it's been a few years.
How long was that relationship?
Not that long at all.
Okay, so in the last 20 years, she hasn't had any real relationships.
Yeah, that's true. I think she focused more on me and my siblings.
So I want to ask if your mom is happy, upbeat, joyful, and optimistic when she talks to you about relationships. If she divorced your father, and she hasn't had a man.
Correct.
She can say one thing, but what are you seeing?
I think she's focused on herself, honestly.
It's a mercenary.
True.
It's a mercenary. Because you say you were raised in a traditional kind of place, but your mother divorced your father or your father divorced your mother?
The situation was pretty bad, so it was definitely my mother who left.
Okay. I don't want to pry too much. Are you saying the situation was bad because you witnessed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
okay. All right. Women often, I often hear young ladies idealize their mothers. What did your mother teach you about relationships if she's not in one? Can't keep one.
So that's actually a good point that you make.
I know.
You actually, well, I had to learn, like, okay, if my mom is living like this, and
So in other words, you got to answer the question before you do.
Okay.
What is she teaching
Okay.
you?
So what she taught me is what I learned is that you definitely can't be in a situation that you're not happy with. Especially if it's not healthy.
No.
Okay.
No. We're going past your mother, and because see, I don't want to go down that path. I don't want to ask what the issues were. Were the police involved? All right, then we move on. But since then, what is she teaching you about men? Because that ain't all men. That ain't all relationships. I don't want to go there.
Okay.
But what else?
She's taught me to find somebody who loves me, find someone who will care for me, support me.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I need to make sure that I find a man that I'm basically not doing all of the work.
So she taught you, thank you. Somebody who will love me and support me. When it gets right down to it, here comes the fears. Somebody that's I'm not going to do it. So come on. I know where we're going with this. You're saying one thing, but you were taught another.
Okay.
You said she...
Mother telling her don't deal with them homosexuals at the end of the day. You need to get you a man that, and for her to say that, get a man that's not going to take advantage of you, I'm assuming is what she's saying in terms of that. And you being the provider at the end of the day. I don't know if she witnessed certain characteristics in her by saying that or from the past, but that could be a clue for a mother just to say that. Don't be supporting a man or you doing all the work.
It was joyful, optimistic, upbeat. But she told me to find somebody who loves me. Somebody who's going to support me. But you're supposed to be the support system, not me. You are my support system. I'm not your support system. You're supposed to love me. I'm not supposed to love you. I'm supposed to protect you. You're supposed to love me. You are my support. I'm not your support. And then somebody where I'm not going to have to do all the work. You're supposed to work for me.
Agreed.
You said you were raised in a traditional kind of way. I'm not hearing any traditional anything that your mother's teaching you. She ain't living it. Because she don't have it.
The mother done got Americanized. That's probably why they broke up. They're divorced because she started adapting these American ways, doing things outside of what the cultural norms were. And, he didn't realize in the States we got laws where you can't do certain things to women like you could do back home. I'm not making light of it, but still, that's probably what happened. She was getting a little bit too Americanized for him, and he was trying to check her, and it doesn't fly like that here. So her thing is, we're in America now. You should act like an American. And that's how you're going to find your true love.
Yeah.
And I was just about to say that. So she can't live it. But I mean,
yes, she can.
Based off of the...
Yes, she can. She could have Yes, she can. She could have found a man.
By finding a man.
Thank you. Because children don't learn from what you tell them. They don't learn from what you see. At 26 years old, you're no closer to being married than you were at 23. Because you don't even know what you're looking for.
I believe I know what I'm looking for.
Okay, what are you looking for?
So I'm definitely looking for a man who has more than what I have for myself.
What does that mean?
Say again?
What does that mean?
So I have this, I guess, vision for myself as far as how successful I need to be. And I feel like the man that I find either needs to meet that or exceed that by at least times.
What do you have?
What do I currently have? So currently I have like a job. Like, you mean like physically, like I have a job?
You said you didn't meet a man that has more than you. What do you have?
So I live in my own place. I have my own cars.
Okay, hold on. You own a home or an apartment?
I'm in an apartment.
Okay, you own cars or car?
A car.
Okay, you have an apartment, a car. Did you go to college?
Yes, I did.
Did you graduate?
Yes, I did. With the bachelor's, working on a master's, business administration.
So I agree with her to a certain extent. then this is what I would tell my daughters. I wouldn't want her dealing with a man that has, I'm talking about in terms of assets and things of that nature. I mean, I wouldn't want her dealing with a guy that's basically struggling and really doesn't have anything to his name or a capability, and she's trying to build him up, which a lot of guys are looking for. You going into marriage, in my opinion, and a lot of guys hate when I say this, you need to have the foundation laid to the point where you are able to take care of your wife and whatever children may come along. So if she already has wealth, that's cool too. But still, I will tell my daughters, and I'm going to do a video on this, when I'm going to teach my daughters about dating and marriage. This man that you married needs to have enough to take care of you and whatever children y'all plan on having, whatever family you guys plan on having. So that almost sounds like he would have more than you. It shouldn't be at a point where you've accumulated more and you're basically taking care of a man. It's not good.
A master's of what?
I'm either going to do a master. Well, I'm working on a master's in finance. Sorry.
So you got a car, an apartment, and did you get scholarships or do you have student loans?
I do have student loans. I did get scholarships as well.
So.
But I'm in debt. Yes, I get your point.
How much are we talking? 10, 20, 30, 40, what?
Oh, I'm up there.
What's that?
Oh, I'm like 60K.
All right. So, in other words, you're a 26 year.
And that's still on the low end. Most of my clients that I deal with on their credit report, it's the average. I would say the average is around 50, 60 that I'm seeing. You know, but hopefully she'll be using her degree. She's in graduate school, I think is what she's saying.
You're a woman. How tall are you?
I am 5'5".
Dress size?
You say again?
Dress size?
Oh, dress size. I don't know, like 12. I don't know.
12? How much did you weigh the last time you weighed yourself?
Like 190.
How many children would you like to have?
2.
And after you're pregnant and married with your first child, do you want to have to work to pay significant bills?
Absolutely not.
Okay. What percentage of the overall family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for an entire
Less than
life?
30.
Less than 30 could mean one. Which percentage?
30 or less.
Oh, ma'am, you cannot work after you're pregnant and then be responsible for 30% of the family financial load. Those two numbers don't match.
How not?
Well, if you're not working,
baby, you not working. You ain't understanding quite enough. JR, start sister. I can't even do my voice. JR, stop simping. How can you say that? She knows what he's saying. You need to stop simping. I don't think she quite understood what he was saying by that. Baby, you unemployed. Of course you ain't gonna be able to contribute nothing. So by nature, if you want to stay at home and take care of the kids, this man needs to be able to do that.
At what age do you plan on going back to work?
So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So what percentage of the overall family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime? And 30% means if your income goes away, the family takes a substantial hit. 30%, you cannot, a ship can't even stay with 3 compartments. 30% compromises it. So what percentage of the overall family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for? I mean, if you don't make it, it doesn't compromise, meaning you don't make it.
Okay, quick question. I'm so sorry. So if I'm responsible for 30%, leaving us with 70%, that we can't live off of that.
It's going to substantially change what happens. 30% is beyond the tipping point.
So what would be a good percentage for a woman?
I don't know, ma'am. I'm asking you. You said you don't want to, after married, pregnant, you don't want to have to work. So,
okay. Let me change that statement. I don't want to have to work like a job to where it's like.
Ma'am, I just need to know what I want to know. What percentage of the overall
30%.
So you want to be responsible for 30% of the family stress. So that means your daughter or your son has a car. You want to be responsible for 30% of that. They go to college. You want to be responsible to pay 30% of that. Everything responsible for 30% for the rest of your life. So that means you're going to have to work through 65. All right. What state do you live in?
Texas.
Texas. How much does it cost to have a middle-class family of 4 in Texas to live a middle-class life?
50 to 60K.
What the French toast did you just say?
To have
a family of 4. A family of 4.
120K.
A family of 2 children and 2 adults, to where the kids can have cars and go to college. $120,000. $120,000 in Texas. I lived in Texas for 12 years. That ain't gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it.
I mean, I thought Texas was cheap. I never lived in Texas. I know people who live in Texas. I know you could get a mansion in Texas, and I hear Texas. You can get a mansion in Texas for like where I live at. You can get a mansion for, you know what I'm saying, like for 200 something thousand. You know, here you can barely get 1,500 square feet for 200,000. So 120,000 family income, cars, college fully paid for. Yeah, of course you can't do that with college fully paid for. But outside of college, you can raise a family on $120,000. That's well middle class, in my opinion. I haven't been to Texas, but I would think so, based off of the people I know that live there. You guys from Texas can chime in and let me know. Outside, I'm not talking about college included. I'm just talking about raising your children up to that point.
That's not gonna cut it. But let's just say, how much do you think you'll make at the top of your career?
About 120, 30K.
So 120 or 30K. So that's 30%. So your man needs to make 70, shall we? So 130,000 times 0.17. So your man needs to make 221,000. If you're responsible for 30%.
My goal was actually 360,000 for my husband.
What percentage of men earn that amount of money?
Top 5 to 1%.
Top 1%. Ma'am, black, white, Hispanic, Asian.
An astronaut.
Yes.
What do you want him to be?
African American.
And you're dress size 12.
Yes, very curvaceous woman.
Yeah, how curvy you are, you're almost 200 pounds, and you want a man who's making $360,000. So I got a question for you. What does a man who's making $360,000 or more want from a woman?
Nothing.
Now, I want to add, I know the bros out there, you would go for a 5'3", 190 pounder, depending on how that weight sits. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the bros that's making that kind of money, but you never know. In her defense, JR, you're simping. Anyway.
They don't need anything from us.
Modern Mercenaries, everybody. You can't make this shit up.
They don't need anything for us. They have the whole world to choose from.
You cannot make this shit up. What does a man who's making that kind of money or more want from a woman?
I mean, I guess at that point it would just be, what does he want from a woman? He would just want a family at that point. A woman that's going to be there.
Hold on, ma'am. Hold on. See how clear you had for the man and how much money he needs to make and all this other shit? When I ask you one simple thing, what is the kind of man that you want from a woman? You can't answer that simple question. This kid, ma'am, all he needs is a working womb to do that.
Dang.
So what does he want?
It would be basically somebody he could come back to for his support. Somebody who's going to basically care after the kids while he's out there working.
What's your longest relationship?
My longest relationship is the one I'm in now. And I guess you could say that that's it, a little over a year.
Uh-huh. And how old is he?
Mm-hmm. He is 25.
All right. So he's a year younger than you. What's the maximum age difference you want between you and your husband?
Maximum? So for me to be stable, I would have to be looking at a guy that's like over 10 to 15 years older than me.
All right.
Is the boyfriend watching right now? What are we doing? We just fucking? I mean, what's going on, baby? Like, what about chopped liver? What's happening here? Look at her face. Yo. Go ahead, bro. It's just temporary.
So, you can't make this shit up.
You can't. Because she's got no plans. She doesn't see any future with this guy. It's just like he's just here to pass the time, really, at the end of the day. Sheesh.
And you say that confidently, too. I want to make it $360,000. First off, you do realize that these men don't want women way more than they do.
Okay.
Point blank, end of sentence. Number one, number two, they don't want women that are not traditional.
Okay.
You're not traditional.
I'm not traditional?
Oh, no. You're very modern.
How so? Please tell me.
No. Well, the fact of the matter, you're single at this point. And we went through how you were raised. You're not traditional. You're dating a guy who's a year younger than you. You're not traditional. See, traditional women by your age would have been married because marriage is a requirement for traditional women.
Absolutely.
Men are not optional. You have a dream. You have no, don't so. You have a fantasy, which is fine. But you're trying to find a man in the top 1% of women. And this man has the option of the world. So first thing he wants from a woman is like most men want from women who are cooperative. Cooperative, traditional. Then fit feminine friendly. You failed the fitness part.
Okay.
So automatically, you have to compete with the women that are around that man. So why would a black man who's making that kind of money, skip over all the plethora of women who were raised to be there with him, who don't have the kind of family thing you're talking about, who actually knows what a man wants, other than just who can answer the questions I'm talking about? Why should he skip all these women and choose you?
So most of your questions have been, like, I guess, about my current situation and how I grew up. But I mean, if we're talking about traditionalism, right? I was raised to cater to
I asked
men.
you, why should he skip over all these women and pick you? I asked you all these questions.
Because of how I was raised and how I was brought up.
You were raised by years.
Okay. I have a strong family of women who are married around me, who have taught me.
You got a cookbook?
I don't need a cookbook.
Oh, yeah, you do need a cookbook. See, right there, folks, right there. You heard the voice. You heard it. Like I said, all you have to do is trigger these modern women and it'll come out. You heard the tone. Thank you.
I don't need a cookbook. You have.
Yeah, you need Jesus. Oh my God. 200 pounds. I don't need a cookbook. You don't need nothing from me. That's why you're dealing with a 25-year-old, because a man who's serious would not deal with this. Look at this shit like, I don't need Get your 15 minutes of fame. Oh my goodness. $360,000 now for the low price of $360,000, you'll get a woman who's not 30, 40, 50. She's $60,000+ in debt, guys. And that's before grad school. Then you get the benefit of her having her consumer debt, her credit card debt. Then the fact that she's a whopping size 12. It's curvaceous, but it's a 12. And she doesn't even have a cookbook. She doesn't need a cookbook because you're making all the money. All she has to do is sit there and give you starfish sex and a size 12 body. And you should be happy to get that. Matter of fact, you should skip over every woman that's already been raised to be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, to kind of work and create and support your man. You should skip over all of them to go to get to her. Right. Bye, dog.